much older than me, and she had voted, and she the one carried me and showed me how to vote. And that was on 8th Avenue. There one of them old buildings. What? Uh, Nothing in them now. Come, the old building is down below the railroad, coming by. Whoa, well, was on 8th Avenue. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. And did her dad ask her? Did her parents ever like share anything? Does she remember any story? Was there any stories that like really stuck out with her?
Was there any story that was passed down from your
Yeah.
father, your stepmother that stuck out with you? Any stories that your daddy told you?
No, I don't know in the story my daddy told me or I, my stepmother either, but still stick out with me now that I remember my daddy would go to bed real early and all us young people and whatnot be sitting around getting our lesson and he'll be asleep and by the time we go to bed good I would he would get up and you hear him praying when the night and that still go with me. And still stuck out with me to hear my daddy calling on the Lord like he did late in the night, but he'll wait till all us go to bed. I really think we'd be asleep. But I'd be in there crying and rejoicing. I didn't know I was rejoicing, but I know I was crying. But
Wow.
as I got up, I know that's what it was. My little heart was rejoicing over the spirit that was having him, ha- having him praying like he was.
Wow.
And does Mother Lucille remember much about when her father was a sharecropper? And if she does, can she just talk a little bit about what that was like for him?
Do you remember when Mr. Jake was a sharecropper? What it was like for him? The harvesting of the,
Oh, he always had a shell coming. He always, I guess, did real good. We would, I don't think he'd be in debt or nothing. And he always would raise our cane, and we made syrup out of the cane. He always had that sweet potatoes. We had bed of potatoes during the winter time, and a lot of time we had white potatoes because he learned how to dig them white potatoes and put them in them beds where he had them beds of sweet potato.
Mm.
And so we always had a good garden, good food and stuff for the winter because he was he raised his own hogs and had, well he didn't say raise no cow, no lot of cow, but he had always raised one or two. You get him a calf early, raise one or two cows. Mm. So we always we always enjoyed eating. He was a good fisherman and a good hunter. And that's what he would labor all the time. He would labor, but at that time I didn't know he would labor. But since I got grown, I realized that he would fish at night and we'd have fish for breakfast a lot of time because We'll be in the bed sleep. He be fishing, and he come in. He clean them, and he was a fly. He ain't fly the farmer, but he get enough sleep to wait the next day.
So she got her busyness, her non-idling self. She got that from Daddy.
What
You said you got your non-island from Mr. Jake.
And actually, this is a question for both of you, including you, Mary. Is how do you both see kind of the lives of women and the roles of women in this country, and I guess specifically Black women, change since the time that you were born to the times that we're living in now?
Well, for me, I've seen it change in the sense that we have taken jobs outside of the homes, and we have lost some of the skills that we had. For instance, my mother, they did quilts, they canned fruits and vegetables in season. So there was always plenty of food because they had that knowledge and that skill. Now we basically get everything from the grocery store, and we don't know what all we eating sometimes because of that. And every family had a vegetable garden and ate fresh. So we've changed a lot of ways to the detriment of our health because we don't eat as fresh. You know, a lot of things eaten out of the box, out of tin, which that wasn't the case because the wife, the mother, and the daughters were taught to do those things. The can and the quilting, the washing, the ironing. You know, all of those were household chores that I had to do growing up, and to help with preparing the food for canning. And so I'm sure Mother Shazier did some of that for her aunt too.
Well, my stepmother.
Your stepmother. Okay. She did a lot of that for her stepmother to help her
I
stepmother.
helped her help my stepmother.
She helped her stepmother. Okay.
How many siblings did Mother Shazier have?
How many siblings? How many sisters and brothers you had? Do you remember?
Mm. Uh, my first wife would be my sister. My mother died. My first wife was my sister and a brother. They were ahead of me. They, he had two children. He had a boy and a girl by the first wife. I didn't never know the girl because she passed on right before I was born. The second wife was sister and I, and our mother died. And the third wife was about 4 or 5 children. And that's and I had about 6, 7, about 9, 9 sisters and brothers.
Wow.
I may be making a mistake on this last one, but I don't think I is. I think I'm correct on that. But I know coming on down to his third wife, that's when the children were more children because my mother passed and the first wife he had passed. But the second wife, he and I lived together and he paid. But he had about 5 children before he paid.
Wow. Well, I just want to thank you guys for just like being on the show. This has just been so awesome and so awe-inspiring.
Well, actually, now that we're talking about food and growing food and all of that, I'm very thankful that my grandmother and my mother taught me how to preserve and can, because I have my little COVID victory garden. So, all the peas and all that stuff, I put that away for, but actually we're still enjoying them right now during the winter. So those are just amazing skills to have, period. But I'm assuming again, this is a rural area. It's not like you could just go to a clothing store and just buy clothes off the rack. So I'm assuming that Mother Lucille and sisters and stepmothers and whatnot, were they the ones who primarily made their clothes?
Did you make your clothes growing up, Mother?
They had Cynthia was in our community, so we got on to in the material, anything like that. We'd have her to make our dresses.
Did you understand? She said they had seamsters in their community that made the dresses. Yes.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I ain't digging in no dirt, so I'm going to the store, y'all. I don't dig in dirt. I'm one of them, and I don't stitch either. So, but again, like I said, this has been an absolute honor to have both of you ladies on the show. We will be putting the link to Mary Beal's book in the comments, so you guys can buy the book and just read the stories about Mother Shazier. Mother Shazier, we thank you so very, very much for being on this show today.
Yeah, thank you. She's thanking you for being on the show.
Oh, well, you're welcome. Thank you for want to talk with me.
Yes, it's awesome. If I was there, I'd be sitting at your feet.
She said if she was here, she'd be sitting at your feet.
Huh?
She said if she was here, she would be sitting at your feet.
Oh, bless your heart.
But no, thank you both so much for being able to join us.
We both thank you for having us and to talk about Mother Lucille Shazier's book, How to Live Well Past 100 Years, because she is still living well. As you can see, you can't see her, but this girl has gotten up, been to church, looking sharp. You see how sharp she looks? She's a sharp dresser. I'm trying to give you a better view of her there.
I see her. I saw her. I just didn't want everybody looking into your house. So I shut everybody down.
Yes.
But again, the thing that I love, besides just the little glimpses into a bygone age, is just her joy and her positivity, and it's just amazing. It really, really is.
It is inspiring, very inspiring.
It really is. She's awesome, and I thank you so much again for sharing this living history, Women's History Month, because that's what this is. This was living history that we just witnessed, and there's so many people on our show today that stated that that they were witnessing living history, and that they were honored to do so.
It is an honor to be in her presence.
Yes, it is. It really, really is. So next week, guys, we're going to learn about another centenarian who has, she's passed though. Her name was Olivia Hooker. And she was actually the first African-American woman with the Coast Guard. So get ready, because we are still honoring women in history for this March History Month 2022.
So as always, hope that you guys were spared the Snowmageddon wherever you were this past weekend, because we had some pretty interesting weather. As always, thank you so much for spending this hour with us on Sunday. You will see us right here, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Sunday.
Yes. Thank you again, Mother. Thank you again, Ms. Beal. I'm Danya.
I'm Brian, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Well, thank you both.
All right. You guys have a great, great day. Bye.
Bye.